Hey.
Good evening, beautiful people.
Mhm.
You guys know how we like to kick it off, man. In order to take accountability for what has passed and what will be, there's no time like presently. So, for all of those with mouths and ears, can we have a moment of your time? We want to gain some perspective. Can we have a piece of your mind? What's going on,
Hey,
Hector?
what
What's
up? What
going
up?
on, Brian?
Yo, what's up, y'all?
Piece of your mind, family, man. We just grew again by one,
Mm-hmm.
man. We got my brother joining us as a host here today, and hopefully this means he's gonna be on quite more often. Um, for those who who've been following us for a while or been watching us for a while, you may have heard Brian on one or two episodes prior. Um, I'm here. I'm on record right now, baby boy. Um,
That's
yeah,
what it's about though, right? Life, man. Life be life and things
yeah,
moving.
man.
We just kind of keep moving with it, kind of thing. That's all it is.
Yeah, but Brian getting started. He's trying to do his own podcast or something at some point eventually. Um, Starting this podcast was a powerful move for like a powerful growth move for both Hector and I. I've seen Hector growing and flourishing in other parts of his life since we started this podcast.
Oh
And
yeah,
getting more comfortable on the camera, getting more comfortable speaking his mind and his voice. That intelligent mind, Hector, my
appreciate that.
accountability partner. Now we picking up another accountability partner, Brian here, and and I'm mentioning his goals and stuff like that because again, this is about accountability. Like I know this guy Brian here, he's a beautiful mind. He's a brilliant mind. He articulates very well, and I honestly have to endure him listening to like other boxing channels all day. You know what I mean? Because that's what he's into, and I tell you, I believe Brian is if not just as good, maybe even better than some of these guys, man. And I'm ready to see that start taking off. So if I have to start right here on Piece of Your Mind with the Piece of Your Mind family, I'm excited to have you, B. So
Oh yeah,
welcome.
I appreciate the invite. I definitely look forward to being on here with you guys more often. And then this is definitely a good experiment for me. Like trying to figure out like where and how I'm going to utilize you know the space that I have in order to actually do this. So this is basically the beginning of that process. So I definitely appreciate you guys, giving me that nudge.
Yeah,
absolutely.
man. It gets you used to
B.
hitting the record button. It gets you used to like, turning on the camera, setting up your space, man. Yeah, man.
That's
We're
right.
glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real honest with you, B. Like, I'm very hopeful for this to spark something in you. Because something I may not have ever told you, man, it is you yourself that got me into drawing, that got me into a lot of the artwork. Because I remember when we were all growing up, right there being on Monroe, you know how many times I slept over, man. I basically lived on the floor of that house. You know what I mean? I was there all the time. And I can't tell you how many times I saw you open up a sketchbook or a notebook and start just doodling or drawing something. And I was just thinking to myself, like, shit, that's cool. And then I would see what you were drawing and I'd fall in love with it. I'm like, yo, this is dope. And having been exposed to it in that manner, because my mom, she also liked to draw, she liked to paint, but I didn't ever see her just pull out her sketchbook. Like, it felt like a very like a secret almost. Like this hobby of hers that she keeps near and dear to her heart. So she never just pulled out the sketchbook in front of me, but I would get to see the created work that when it was all done, it's just like, oh, that's cool. But seeing the process is what turned me onto it. And truthfully, you gave me that, bro. Watching you do that was an eye opener to me. So I got into it. And then, kind of you and I, we went down similar paths, Brian. Like you have a degree in design as well as I do. And, kind of utilizing a lot of those tools growing up, and then all those different inspirations, all those different sparks, like I learned that this is something I do love, and I've pursued it as much as I can and have turned it into something professional. This is, in a way, it's my income, being a designer, and the way I am, I'm able to kind of reproduce artwork from others. I'm able to produce my own, and kind of collaborate and bring it further. So that's what it's all about at the end of the day, is that spark, that intuitive nature to chase something that made me feel good, and then be willing to expose myself to it in so many different levels. And again, thank you, because you started that for me, bro. So I'm hoping, again, this podcast really does do something for you, man, and let you chase it. Because I know how brilliant you are, bro. Spent our whole lives growing up together, man. So I know what's up in there, bro. And it's just cool to see that you're on here kind of being able to reciprocate. And yeah, I'm with it, bro. I want you to do something, man.
Word. Yep. You know what, man? I want to share a little backstory, man. Now, Hector and me and Hector have been best friends since like second grade, right? And then at some point, Brian came and hung out with us like one time or something, and then after that, it was like it wasn't just Hector and I as best friends. It was me, Hector, and Brian were best friends. You know what I'm saying? This is my biological brother. You know what I'm saying? And we've been I remember growing up, we was like this, man, and we used to go. You know what? What really set it in stone for me that Brian was part of the circle was actually one time. I don't know where I was coming from, but I came home and Brian and Hector had left. They had took off. I'm like, yo, where Brian at? Oh, he left with Hector. They went to New Haven and in-house. I'm like, what? They went without me? That's crazy. I was like, oh, well, I guess it's official. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. I do remember, man. I do definitely remember that, having sleepovers with just Brian or sleepovers with just you, Frank. Like, yeah, that it was just a thing, bro. Like, and that's what was cool, man. Because like, meeting you, Frank, back when, I feel like I shared this story, man. But like, you came in and you had the box braids, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, that dude looks real cool. I want to be his friend.
Yeah.
And that was really it. That was all it took. That little spark to just kind of make it so that I felt comfortable around you. And then, to my benefit, oh shit, he's got a brother that had box braids. He looks cool too. I'm with this, man. Like, yo, this is my group right here. These my people. And it was so simple, bro. Like being a kid, man. Like you don't look for those things, you don't look for different qualities, like, how smart is this person? How reliable is this person? All these kinds of things like as an adult, I find myself like, yo, is that person beneficial to my life? Are they going to boost me? Like you have a lot of criteria going in to a relationship as an adult, but when you're a kid, man, hey, hi, you said hi to me, best friends. That's it. Yeah.
It is like simplicity of it. As an adult, you might hang out with somebody once or twice, like, this guy's a waste of my time.
Right.
Yeah, man, for sure. Look, let's get right into some topics, man. Let's get right into some topics, man. I want to share this with somebody, man. Talk about feeling good and feel good, man. Just 2 days ago, Hector, bro, and mind you, I'm feeling good just in time, bro. Two days ago, Hector, man, I was in the bed and I could not get up, man. I missed my 100 push-up challenge. I couldn't get up. I was sick, right?
Okay.
I was sick, and I was so sick that I was like immobile. It wasn't nothing serious. Like I had like a head congestion. I felt weak, and like a body fever or something like that. But all of that is besides the point. The thing was, I was not feeling good. I was incapable of moving. Like, if I would have had the strength to do 100 push-ups for the push-up challenge, I would have did that, man. I would have made a little live video. I would have been like, yo, I'm still trying to do push-ups and in support, although I'm sick. But I was really out of it. So now breaking and shaking that off, heck, man, I woke up this morning. Matter of fact, I didn't even wake up this morning, heck. I started like shaking off the sickness like maybe like late last night, and then I actually ended up breaking night, Hector. I was that excited, man. It just felt so good to feel good, bro. I ended up breaking night, man. I was just up all the stuff. I was creating reels and stuff like that. I was creating reels all night. Like it really does feel good just to feel good, man. And it sucks that it takes like a sick day for you to like really feel and know the difference. But like 50 said, I know we say this all the time too, but like 50 said, man, sunny days wouldn't feel so special if it wasn't for
It wasn't
rain,
for
right?
rain.
Yep.
That's it.
So it
Joy
feels good
wouldn't
to
feel
feel
so
good, man.
good if it wasn't for rain. For real.
Yeah, man.
No, I experienced that a lot, bro. And I always remind myself, like, man, it does feel good to feel good. Like whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, man. I know that I have been at a point in my life where that low feels real low, and it don't feel good to be there. So you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
always kind of appreciate when I'm feeling good, and like. So I'm gonna include Brian on this. So like that conversation the last time we had Brian in here, we talked about AI, we talked about Midjourney, right? We talked about all these different tools. In that moment, I was feeling so good. I went and bought Midjourney. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an active
Yeah.
subscriber on there, and I use it daily, and I have been loving every minute of it, man. And we've incorporated it into the podcast. So like, I know that when I feel good, it feels good to chase something that makes you feel better and keep going that way. Because you're gonna have those down moments. You're gonna have those times where you're not feeling okay. You feel incapable. You know what I'm saying? You feel so dispatched from reality that just nothing's entertaining, nothing's exciting. And so, like having the ability to go ahead and feel good for a moment, like then chase that further. Make more moments out of that single moment, kind of shit. So. I'm
Yeah.
sad that you was not feeling good, bro, but I'm glad that you already like kicked that shit out. Yo, if I get sick, bro, I'm out for like a week, man. It sucks,
Yeah.
bro. I get that man cold, bro, and I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You ever hear the ladies talk about like how men turn into babies when they
oh,
sick?
baby. Yeah,
That's
oh
yeah.
yeah.
I am like the
Yeah.
bro. I'm like the definition of okay. All I look. It don't even matter what medicine you gave me. All I need is mommy thigh to lay on. Okay, my stroke my head a little bit.
For
You know
real.
what I mean? My head bad,
For
man. My
real.
head bad. You know.
Oh
You
man.
can't beat the affection sometimes. You know.
No.
But
Nah, for real.
you know what, heck, man. I want to talk. It feels good to feel good, right? Yo, I the experience of having COVID. And I want to talk about COVID for a second because yo, I never took the test when I felt like I had COVID. I never took a test that told me I had COVID, but it had to be COVID, bro. I never been out of it for so long at ever being sick. And I think it was almost like 3 weeks before I started feeling good. And I was bad.
Mm,
I was in the bed for like two almost 3 weeks, just laying, couldn't barely make it to the bathroom, right?
mm,
I was staying in a hotel by myself, bro, just in the dark. You know what I mean? And it was during that time when I realized, like, yo, all this laying around I'm doing, like, what else would I be doing if I wasn't doing this laying around? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Where would I be? You know what I mean? It gave me a lot to think about. It made me realize how much time I'd wasted prior to getting sick. You hear what I'm saying? It made me think about all the times I just like, okay, if I wasn't sitting here, I'd probably be at the house playing the video game or, not to say all that decompression stuff is great, but like, yo, it made me. Honestly, bro, I was so sick. I didn't think I was gonna make it out of there, bro. I thought I was gonna die in the hotel room. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
So
And so, like coming out, being able to live through it, right? Come back home, feel good, feel great. Like I just see things differently now. Like, and it really makes me enjoy the feeling of feeling good. Being sick for so long, I can't imagine the people that's going through cancer and stuff like that. Hey, my heart to
mm,
everybody who's dealing
oh
with
yeah.
cancer, their kids dealing with cancer. St. Jude's Children's Research. You guys got support, but I could like I mean, I guess now I could imagine a little bit, but that was only like 2-3 weeks of being sick and and out of it. And there's people that deal with this for real, like all the time, man. So, like, yo, if you feel good, if there's nothing wrong, nothing hurts, you woke up easy, like, yo, just be happy. You know what I mean? Just be happy. You really should just wake up and just be happy. If you woke up, yo, Hector, when I was sick recently, bro, I tried going up and down the stairs, bro. I was like an old man, one step at a time.
Yeah.
One step at a time. One step at a time. Bro,
Well,
last night I was running up and down the stairs like I was like a freaking kid last night, bro. Running up and down the stairs just because I could, man. I was excited,
just
man. My
because you
legs were,
can.
you know
Yo.
what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I feel good, heck, man. I can't even explain it right now, man. I feel
I'm
good just
glad to
because
hear
we're
that.
doing it today.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you broke it, bro. Cause yeah, like yo, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's something in us as men, if that like that man cold, if that's a real thing, bro. Like, cause yo, like when I'm feeling good, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing everything I can. When I'm feeling shitty, like, physically sick, like my whole body, for whatever reason, just seizes up, man. Like, yeah, same thing, bro. One step at a time up the stairs. Hardly able to get out of bed. Like rolling over feels like a lot of work, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I don't know, and I feel like women, not to say that it's a good thing, but women end up going through their menstrual cycle, right? So they're no stranger to pain. They're no stranger to discomfort.
Yo, I really
This
do
is a
think that.
monthly.
I think that does have something to do with like their strength too, for real, bro. Because
I yo,
they they
I
endure
think
well,
it
man.
does. Hell yeah, cause look at how that bro. Hey, you're just bleeding profusely out of, okay, and then the cramping and all the extra baggage that comes with it. You still got to be an adult. You still got to go outside and do adult shit, right? So
Yeah, pop
like,
that Advil and go to work.
that's
For
it.
real.
That's it. That's it. Advil is your friend for the day, man. Like everybody else, fuck off. But Advil, you the homie. Chill with me. So I respect that, bro. And I really think that has something to do with it. And lots of people make fun of it, and it's usually women that make fun of us when we get sick because we're babies.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we'll go months at a time not feeling anything. We're okay. We're good for it. But women get this monthly reminder, hey, you're alive, and you got to deal with this shit. So that their immunity is boosted in a sense. I feel like they're a little bit more tolerable to pain. As we're men, yo, it hits us. It's hitting us pretty hard, man,
Yeah, for
and
real, man.
it's not fun. I really think that has something to do with it. I mean, science might be able to back that up. I'm no expert, but I feel like that's really the difference, man. And so, yeah, listen, ladies, if your man is sick, he not feeling good, yes, baby him, take care of him, give him the head rubs, let him lay his head on your lap. It feels good, so that helps us get over it quicker. So don't be mean to us, all right?
Man.
Few kind words, some hot soup, some tea, just wrap a blanket around us, we cool.
That's it. Hell yeah, shit. Like, y'all, I tell you, man, the last time I got sick, man, Kate really took care of me, man. Like, she come down, she'll check on me, she'll put her hand on my forehead, she'll make sure I got food, she'll tuck the blankets in and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool, man. It's like being acknowledged in a way that I'm vulnerable, I'm not feeling okay, but she's not trying to be, like angry or disappointed that I'm not feeling good. She's just understanding, like, okay, it happens, and I'm gonna take
Yeah.
care of you for this brief moment in time. And not to say that she doesn't take care of me any other time. Like, that's my partner, and I rely on her a lot. And so like having that, go extended to, okay, you're not feeling good at all, I'm gonna cover everything. Like, that's cool, man. That proves to me she's someone reliable, and it's just dope to have that in a relationship, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just felt like saying that, felt like throwing that
Hey,
out there.
shout out to my sister Kate, man, taking care of my brother Hector over there in
Oh yeah,
Colorado, man.
yeah, she doing her thing, man. She really is, really is.
Hey,
So
you know what, B?
Yo,
So since we're reintroducing you to the show, man, let me give you an opportunity to like really introduce yourself, man. Let the people know like what you're into. What are you hoping to like? Do you have any goals for New Year's? Like what changes would you want to see for yourself? What changes do you hope come from just being part of the like the podcast or you know?
yeah. So Brian, thanks for having me again. So one of the things that I hope to gain from this obviously is getting more comfortable in front of the camera, and just taking that step to have the setup and to actually use it. I have time on my hands, like it's not a whole lot of time, but if I manage it wisely, I could put out the type of content I want to create. for me, it's more about the creative outlet than anything else, really. Sometimes I have thoughts and ideas that I want to put out, and Frankie might be at work or something, so he might not be around to lend his ear, or I just want to get it out to other people, who have interests that are similar to mine. And I think by actually creating my platform and growing it into a community, I'll find more people like that could, they can listen to what I have to say, and they can give their own feedback, give me advice if I need it, or, just, we could bounce off of each other, and that way we're creating like a network of people, we could be from other parts of the country. Like, for example, Hector's all the way on the opposite coast, right? To have more connections like that, I think would be a beautiful thing. And, it will take me away from just like, the typical day to day, work and home life. It'll give me one more thing to look forward to, while allowing my brain to get that stimulation that I'm doing something creative. It's allowing me to flourish in a way that has a bigger payoff than just money. I get that gratification that I'm doing something I enjoy and speaking to people that I want to speak to,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I like that answer, B, man. And you know what? I want to say Brian added to some of my excitement this week too, because we and Hector had decided to re-ask Brian again if he would if he would join us on the podcast, right? Me, Brian, and Brian, Hector, and I, the three Stooges, man, right? I had asked him, and then since I've asked him, I've seen Brian like setting up his room, getting things ready, like, just looking like he wants to, be part, and it got that kind of made me more excited. I can't even lie, man. It don't really take much to make me excited, man. So, it really don't take much, man. I get a customer a 5-star review, and they don't put no words. I'll be excited. Okay.
Hey, yeah, it's initiative, man. Initiative makes a difference, man. So, like, someone initiating the question, right, and then someone showing some initiative to actually respond in a manner that makes you feel like, okay, they're taking this serious. So, like, yeah, hell yeah, that'd excite me too, man. If I got to see him getting all set up and prepped for it, like, oh, he's ready to do this. So that makes me more amped and makes me more excited to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have him on and really have a discussion going. Like, initiative matters, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that goes back a lot to what we talked about, very early on in the episodes, man. From the beginning, that word willingness, right? Willingness makes the difference in anything, bro. Like, you could think about any major event in history, any pivotal point in someone's life. That word willingness is found somewhere there. You know what I'm saying? And so that makes all the difference, man. So you, Frank, being willing to ask Brian to get up on here, and then Brian showing some willingness and then showing up today. That's all it takes, man. Just a little bit of that. And then we on here doing shit. Like, it's just cool, man. That's real cool.
That reminds me of a story of one of the guys Brian's listening to. I can't remember if it was Boxing Eagles story, but Brian was telling me that the gentleman first started like faceless, right?
Yeah,
was it Eagle? It was Eagle, right?
That's Champ Side.
Oh, Champ Side. So Champ Side. And even though like maybe I don't know why he started faceless. I guess it turned out to be a good thing. But even if even if being in front of the camera is the part that's hard for you, right? But not talking. There's applications like Clubhouse where you can talk to people, but you don't have to show your face. So that way you're working on one, even if you can't do both. You get what I'm saying? Champ Side showed willingness to still want to do, what he does. Even if he was unwilling to show his face, he still had willingness in him, right? He's still willing to put himself out there in some form or fashion. You know what I mean? So I agree with you, Hector, on that willingness, man.
Yeah, bro. It's a game changer, and I know that I can speak on that from my own experiences, man. Having some willingness changed my life. Frank, you and I had a conversation months ago, almost a year ago now by this point, about the podcast. And here we are, right? We doing it.
Yeah,
We were willing to have that conversation. We were willing to be vulnerable. We were willing to, hey, let's put it all right here, right? This is where we wear our heart now, man. This is what we do upon here on PC and Mind. We wear our heart on our sleeve. So if we feel good, we'll tell you. If we're not feeling good, we'll tell you. We still hold each other accountable. We still make moves happen.
yeah,
Like, yo, it's, dude, the willingness has changed my life, man, in all my relationships, being my professional, personal, my close with Kate, just anything, just being willing to go outside and take a walk. I don't care if it's 10 degrees or 90 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Going to take a car ride. Like, hey, let's go not to that Wendy's. Let's go to this Wendy's that's like 10 minutes further because they taste better or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that willingness makes a difference in almost anything, man. So
yeah.
I'm living proof that it for real. Like, and I speak from experience, man. Like, I like seeing people do that shit too, man. Because willingness looks good on anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's a very attractive look, man. And like, not a lot of people really practice that. I would say, like you could see it kind of come up every now and then, man. But like, how many people actually hold on to it and let that be the driving force? You know what I mean? And like, I love when people do that shit. I love seeing that. So like, yeah, starting off faceless, hey, but I'm still doing something. And then you let that evolve into something further. And then again, it evolves. And then you start to realize your own capacity, your ability. You know what I'm saying? I can do more shit. I didn't like social media. I stayed away from it. I post something on Facebook, for my friends, and that was it. Like, and now I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the fucking place, and I love it. You know what I mean? It just feels cool.
Bro, you know what's crazy? After all these years, it's like I'm starting to get lost in the social media a little bit. Like I actually do still get up there and I do my posts, but then now I actually scroll and I comment on people's stuff.
Yeah.
I'm making sure I hit the like button, and I'm sharing things that I feel like deserves to be shared. Like, which is they're all little things, right? These are all little moves you make on social media, but they do count for something. Like people notice that. Like they notice when you come and you're always liking their stuff. They'll start commenting and liking on your stuff. Like, you know what I mean? They'll start, sharing some of your posts and stuff like that. It's just you gotta be willing. You gotta be willing to put yourself out there a little bit too.
Yep.
And people will start putting themselves out a little bit there for you too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So
hey,
I think
Brian,
Brian,
man, I'm glad you was willing to I'm glad you was willing to join us, man. This time
absolutely.
I'm glad you was willing to join us, bro. And
Just about to say the same.
the one thing I know about Brian is, like he said, Brian don't have, like, he has time, but he will have to figure it out. But I seen this dude, Hector, I like literally with my own eyes, bro. I seen this dude go from like 200 and something pounds to like 160, 170. Like it looked like a straight line from how it happened. Once Brian set his mind up, he said, "This is what I'm doing." This dude started, meal prepping. He started counting calories. He started making, he got him a board in his room, and he's doing weekly workouts and and following that stuff and tracking this, and he was killing it, Hector, and it got him to it got him to his goal, man. It got him to his goals.
Yeah.
So I know when Brian set goals, something's gonna get done, man. You know what I mean? So I know starting the podcast last year was a new thing for me. It was a new thing for Hector, and it would have been a new thing for Brian. I was trying to get Brian to come on when we first got started, but he was, at the time, he didn't really show the willingness, right? Not yet. But he has a lot going on. He's a single father. You know what I mean? And work. The regular stuff.
Yeah.
But this time around, man, I know when Brian set his mind to something, forget about it. Forget about it. It's done.
Love that.
Yeah, I just have to apply the same type of mindset that I had towards like losing the weight. I could do with this, find the process and just believe in it. Pretty much, it's like Frankie said, once I had it in my mind, all right, I'm dropping down to like 170. I lost almost 100 pounds, and like I don't know what happened. I started reading and watching videos, and I went and got a big whiteboard, basically outlined my entire plan on the whiteboard. Wake up in the morning, look at the whiteboard. Oh, this is what I'm doing today. Okay, like I figured out what my calorie deficit had to be, and I followed that to a T. I would get up, I would weigh in every morning, do a little flex,
Yeah,
look in the mirror.
created a nice little routine,
So the whole
routine and
thing,
schedule for yourself, man.
yeah, the whole thing, it was just me enjoying the process, and I think that's what really got me through it. It's because like it was fun to me, you know,
Mm.
seeing my progress day to day, like seeing the number going down on the scale, seeing my fat percentage change, seeing my body composition change, like the whole. I was just enjoying the ride. I didn't even really think too much about the time limit that I gave myself because I was ahead of schedule anyway. You know.
Yeah. You know
So
what, Brian? You just said something that reminded me of something Hector said a few episodes a while ago. Um, the, what we consume is food for thought.
Mm.
What we consume is food for thought, right? Because when you set up your mind, when you set your mind to like losing the weight, right? You just said you started watching videos and reading things. You know what I mean? You change what you was visually and like mentally consuming. When Hector say what we consume is food for thought, he ain't talking about consumption food. He's talking about consuming with your eyes. You know what I mean? Consuming with your mind. You know what I mean? So that I don't know. I just put two and two together, man. That made me think of what Hector said. What we consume is food for thought. You know.
So
So
yeah, that the for word, the content we consume is food for thought.
the content we consume is food for thought. So yeah.
Yep.
So that just so when we're ready to make changes, when people are ready to make changes, then naturally you have to change what you are consuming, the content you're consuming, what you're putting in here. You know what I mean? Can Brian? I don't know if you could think of Brian prior to the weight loss. Brian prior to the consuming of healthier content, if you will. Like who was that Brian? Like you know what I mean? What was he consuming on a day to day basis, man? You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of you recognize it makes you recognize the shift. Like you done a whole identity shift. The Brian that was in 2022 is not the Brian that's sitting here with us right now in 2024. You know what I mean? It's an
yeah,
amazing transformation, and bro, just like it took time for you to get there. You know what I mean? Yo, B, you're gonna start growing on the podcast, man. You're gonna start growing out, venturing off into your own eventually, bro. All this stuff is gonna become second nature at some point, bro. There's gonna be some second nature. It's not gonna be stuff you even like give thought. You just do it. You know what I mean?
And so to add to that too, Brian, um, when you started your journey, right? When you looked at yourself and you realized this ain't me, this ain't it, and you
yeah,
started down that path for betterment, you didn't see results the next day, right?
no,
Like shit, maybe not even the very next month, maybe on a small scale, but it didn't just happen overnight. But that didn't deter you. That didn't make you think, oh, this ain't, I can't do this. It's too hard. No, like you said, you enjoyed the process. So you're not the kind of individual that seems to enjoy instant gratification. You could, it seems like you appreciate some hard work, right? And there's a saying, maybe I'm butchering the saying, but nothing good comes easy, right? So
yeah,
you got to work for the good shit. Diamonds take pressure and they're deep. You got to go get them.
Yeah.
They ain't just gonna come to you, kind of thing, right?
right.
So that old mentality, that big picture mentality, knowing you want to be all the way over here, but you're still way the hell over here. How do you close that gap, right? I mean, you start walking. you just start going towards it. That's how you
Yeah.
close that gap.
Yeah,
So, like, I think this podcast being the same thing, bro. I learned how to use my voice a little bit more appropriately, not just on the podcast, but in my professional life. I'm at work and I'll think to myself, okay, this is a moment. This is a teaching moment for all of us, right? Someone just said something that didn't really make sense. I could react to it or I could respond to it. Let me respond. Let me let them know that I heard them. Let me know that. Let me let them know that I see and I'm here. But I practice something in my daily life every day. I have it even hanging up at my wall at work. That if you can choose to be any one thing, be efficient. And I love efficiency. I don't give a shit if you've been doing something for 40 years. If someone that came in with 1 year worth of experience was showing you how to do it better, you better listen up. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm all about that. And I know that this podcast gave me the ability to do that. And I know obviously that you've done that in your life too, man. You knew that this wasn't okay. I'm going to go get better. So you went and did it. So having that gumption, if you will, just that fucking inherent, I can do this shit, man. That, again, willingness, you made a change, bro. And so like having all these different avenues, you know, like your regiment for your own, your weight loss program, meal prepping. Oh, I have tried that. That is not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? It
Not for
takes,
everybody.
it's not for everybody. You have to be very strict. You have to be very disciplined. You have to be mindful, man, because there's so much temptation. I mean, shit, you drive 10 minutes, you probably pass 3 McDonald's and you're hungry as hell. You know what I'm saying? But home is 15 minutes away and I'm going to pass 3 McDonald's on the way. But no, I'm going to go get that meal. You know what I'm saying? I prepared that meal and you stay true to that. You stay true to you. Something Frankie and I talked about last week with the Cat Williams thing, you know, that's standing on your standards. I really want to bring that more in my life, man, standing on my standards. So you set yourself a standard knowing, you know, you can't cheat. You're counting calories now, you know, so no more of that bullshit, no more of that loose version of myself. I'm going to go ahead and be disciplined. I'm going to go ahead and hold myself accountable. And that's the best thing you can do is hold yourself accountable, man. Because when you can do that, you can start to hold those around you that you love accountable. And then we're always teaching at all times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know you know how to do that. But all this, I know that this podcast will definitely help you achieve something more, whatever it might be. So if you did really want to be, you know, having your own host, your own show, and you're talking about something you're super passionate about, like, you know, maybe the sport of boxing or just sports in general, or shit, you want to go in on anime and design and whatever, you could talk about it. You could do it. You're going to learn how to do that here, man, just because it's a place where you're allowed to be you kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And you've already proven to the world that the version of you that exists is the better version of Brian that he wants for himself. I mean, so
yeah,
it's just dope to have you up here, bro. And it's cool to see that shit because I know this place helped me. I know it helped Frank.
It's no longer just up here. You know what I mean? You got some of them out here now, man.
Hey,
He started up here. He started up here, but you got him out here now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's the action.
Yes,
it's the action. We could all give thought to something.
Mm-hmm.
We could all give thought to something. You know what I mean? But it's the action that's gonna get us to those thoughts. You know what I mean?
That's right.
First airplane would have never went up in the air if nobody didn't take action.
That's the word.
Yeah,
nothing would have took off the ground. Shit.
Somebody had to be crazy enough to try to fly.
I wonder who the first passengers were. Like,
bro.
Living in that time, they were like, "Yo, Frank, you want to make history? I don't know if I want to make history that way, maybe. Y'all want to do some jumps or something? Hey,
right. Keep my feet on the ground." That's true though, man. And in an abstract way too. Was the person that flew the plane, were they not the first passenger in a way? Because I mean, they had to think this crazy fucking thought that this thing could go up there, but then trust themselves enough to be up there while it's all happening. Like no one's done this
I didn't
except
think about
me.
Right? Yo, you know what? You know what? An inventor that that do believe in itself. Only an inventor that believe in itself would do something like that, though. I didn't even think about that. That's actually a pretty dope thought. He would be the first passenger. He's like, look, if it was me, I'd be like, I don't need none of y'all to get up here. Watch, I'm gonna show you, I'm a fly, okay?
Yep. little faith in self, man. That should have taken you far, bro, for real.
Yeah, man. We're gonna build plane, man, just like I built the first plane, man. Like them brothers, man.
I'm pretty sure quite a few planes, like, you know, had some pretty bad landings before they got it right.
Oh yeah. I mean, y'all think about it. The very first time, did they even really think about how they're getting it down? They're probably so concerned with getting it up.
Right,
And
yeah.
then they're like up there, they're like, oh shit, how do we get down? Like,
We're gonna have to find somewhere soft to land that bad boy.
yeah.
For real.
Well, you
There goes some water right there.
You know what, man?
Well,
Yeah, for real. Like, and yo, there's a whole career path out of that now, man. You
Yeah.
got engineers, engineering all sorts of incredible shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just cool, man. Because like, think about how complicated it is now as it was compared to back then, bro. Like, you know, the airplane. Okay, you got your propeller, right? You got a way to get up. You got to have that force, that movement. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Now you look at a fucking airplane, you open the cockpit, bro, and there's a million goddamn buttons across the whole thing.
Bro,
Like that shit's intimidating. I'm like, yo, yeah,
like, yo,
the window this big, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait. Like, what are we doing here? It's crazy, man. Like over time, bro, we as humans, you know, we've developed so much. You know, and you know, we're always trying to make it better. We're always trying to make it autonomous in a way, you know, where we don't need a lot of human interaction. For whatever reason, we have pushed that route, man. I mean, look at planes got autopilot, right? Tesla's pushing, you know, your autopilot in the cars, right? You got AI able to create artwork and doing all sorts of different things. You know, there's a lot of autonomous structure being built around all the things that we interact with on a day to day, man. And that's just human nature, is to create the idea and then make it 100 times better. You know, that whole reinventing the wheel thing. You know, the wheel's there. How do we make it better? You add two of them bitches together, and there you go. Now you can travel over mud and rocks. You know what I'm saying? Or put some chains on it. Now you can travel over ice. Like, it's cool, man. Like, just again, going with that abstract thought is, I love how someone can trust themselves to start something and then watch that something grow way beyond their imagination, man. Like, could you imagine the Wright brothers being able to see what airplanes are today? I mean, we've got fucking jets doing 2,800 miles per hour. Like, that is, do you know how fast that is? That is insane. It's cool, man. Like,
yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Like the last time I flew somewhere, I'm like, yo, how do they get this thing to go up like 1,000 feet into the air and still like descend slowly and land? How does it do that without just like, you know, just falling out of the sky?
And we're not talking about no damn like little piece of paper, man. This is a heavy fucking machine.
It weighs tons.
Tons. The gasoline alone weighs tons. So to get this machine, this giant machine with all these people and all this cargo and all this gasoline up and down effortlessly, it's like, that's kind of dope, man. So I respect an engineer, man. I love seeing shit be built and progress further, man. Like that, I feel like really that's what it is to be human, right? Like just to watch shit progress, man. Like, you know, I mean, and I'm gonna go a little left with this one, y'all, because this came up in a conversation. Kate and I are watching this thing on we're watching this series, and you guys heard about Anne Frank, right?
Yeah.
Survivor from, you know, all the horrendous shit that was happening way back in the 40s with Hitler and the Holocaust and all that.
Yeah.
So we're watching this TV show, and I think it's called A Small Light or A Little Light or something like that. Forgive me, y'all, I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But we're watching a show that is following this family that survived by hiding. And the idea of going left here, man, was that, you know, we look at humans and what we've had to endure to understand where we are in our society, where we are in our life. Like, could you imagine being chosen to just be condemned to death just because you exist? Like, I mean, that pretty fucking wild. And so watching the scale of our life yo, the 40s, 80 years ago. My grandparents are in their 80s. They were alive when this shit was happening. So think about it, looking at it from their perspective when they were children. Imagine, like, you know, like just a moment ago, I was talking about how Brian had inspired me to pick up drawing because I saw him drawing one day. I can't tell you all the times we walked and cut paths and took the long way just because I have a lot of childhood memories that I love that made me feel good about my come up. But can you imagine someone that had a childhood that was filled with horrendous shit all the time? Like,
Yeah.
again, it was only 80 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So like, it makes you think, man, like, wow, where we came from, where we're going, you know, that perspective looks different for everybody, man. No one's got it the same. But
Yeah.
it's cool to see people still here and still progress and still do. Like, you know, I've been fortunate enough to meet someone that, you know, was around that time, had to experience that horror in some way, and see that person, you know, still be one of the best people in the room with the biggest heart, you know, and always willing to share a smile and a conversation and never put judgment on someone like that. I got to meet someone like that, man, and that shit's cool, man. Like, to know that, yo, shit's just crazy, and progress is always nice. Whether you see it, again, like Brian, you don't see it right away. You know, it took weeks and months of effort to get yourself to a frame of mind and physically to be somewhere where you really enjoyed you. Or it took someone 40 years to get out of horrors and really build up their lives, or shit. You know, the simplicity of me having an idea, popping it into Midjourney and getting some instant gratification right away. Like, progress is dope, man. And that's all I'm saying. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's interesting, man. It's just all very interesting. And I
Man,
always like, go ahead.
I'm sorry, man. All the talk of war and things that went on, and, you know, things done out of hatred and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not a person that hates. I can't harbor hate. Like, honestly, it's a lot of energy too. You know what I mean? I can't go to sleep mad at my brother over here. You know what I mean? And wake up and still be mad at him. It just doesn't work for me. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, it really makes me. I don't really like talking politics and stuff like that, man. But it just makes me wonder, like, yo, who are the people in power? Because I feel like majority of people, you know, from country to country, if we did like a mass vote, like most people go to war for what? Like, I just wanna go to work today and, you know, get my job done and come home. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I've heard of, like, all this stuff is sad to me, man. We're in a time where they got cars that don't even need gas anymore. You know what I mean? We have, you know, millions of ways of communicating, and yet the way these leaders of ours choose to handle things is always with acts of some kind of violence. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't understand any of these countries, bro. My country or any other country for that matter. Like, who are these people who are coming into power and just deciding what they're gonna do with other people's lives? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just exterminating them like they're insects or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't really. I don't know, man. I can't even. I can't even really say much more than that, man. I don't know, man. I sympathize with the world right now, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what we getting ready to go through right now, bro. I know we went.
Right.
Now I feel like I went further left with what you just went left with.
Nah, you good? Because
But
I'm about to throw a curveball real quick, man. And it's coming your way, Brian. So all three of us, we're all fathers, all of us. Frankie's got the oldest, you know, he's practically got men now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've got a teenager, you know, my teenager, he's 14, and you've got a little one, bro. Keyshawn's what, 3-4 years old now?
Yeah, three.
So I know when Frankie had his, you know, he was younger, he was a younger mindset, but I know as a man now, I know what he wants for them, and I know a lot of the lessons he's teaching them, because a lot of them aligned with the way I, you know, am raising my son, and I'm teaching him because I'm preparing him for the world he's about to enter here very soon. Now, in the sense of Keyshawn, you've got about 15 years, you've got about one generation's worth of teaching to go before he's ready to become a man and be out there in the world. And I'm really curious, be like, if I thought of myself, if I had a kid today, this is how I would parent, right? I have a whole idea of how that works. And I'm curious, in your case, bro, do you have like a sense of like guilt or like a fear knowing that you got a son and you're about to have to raise him through whatever the hell's coming? Do you even think about it to that sense? Like, are you concerned, or like, again, it's a curveball?
Yeah, actually, it does concern me. Thinking about it, he's only 3 right now, and like the way things are, it just seems like he's gonna have to grow up with all types of different his generation. It's gonna be a lot different from what we experienced growing up. Just it is like a global society now. Everything is like a button's touch away. You can see videos of all the atrocities happening. With Hamas and Israel, you have children being trafficked, genocide in Africa, all types of things that are happening that you can see, and it's hard to filter that. And then the way politics is handled now in this country, it's like it's confusing. That there is, I don't know how else to put it. Like,
Yeah.
with all the identity politics and just
Oh man.
we have people on the extreme left, people on the extreme right, trying to pull the people in all these different directions. He's gonna have things to worry about that I never would have fathomed. Going through middle school and high school, in my early years in college.
I like that
So
awareness, B. I love that awareness, bro.
yeah, so that is something that I do kind of worry about, but we're gonna have a lot of conversations, he and I.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
B, your brother and I, man, we came up on here, and we at one point, Frankie and I, we touched on like the men that were in our lives before us, and they come from a different generation themselves. Like, they don't talk, men of few words. You don't open up emotionally, and you just kind of keep it moving. You keep your head up and you just keep going, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Frankie and I both agreed that we're so different because we have conversations with our children. We show them the world through a light that we weren't exposed to ourselves. In a manner. So, like, hearing you say again when you said when I was talking about your awareness, I don't think I've ever heard once my parents say or think about that I might experience something that they never would. You know what I'm saying? And I never heard any kind of sympathy or empathy come from that, or any kind of acknowledgement at all, for that matter. And not to discredit their parenting, but just where we are as a society today, we are forced to be more aware. We're forced to be more present because we just simply don't know. And for us specifically, we got to see a lot of change happen over the last 10-15 years. I mean, we went from having a cordless rotary phone, whatever, or rather a rotary phone, watch that turn into a cord phone, watch that turn into a cordless, watch it turn into a cell phone. Like, we got to watch so many things evolve. I mean, look at television, look at video games, look at politics, look at the economy. Everything we have been exposed to as a child has evolved so many times in our lives, and we're only in our 30s, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what's gonna happen to the little ones, man? Keyshawn and his group. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think about that all
to
the
me,
time.
that
Yeah, because
like,
it's like you said, rotary phones, dial-up internet.
yeah. Oh,
Went through
oh,
all types of different. Went from like VHSs to
yep.
CDs to DVDs, Blu-rays. Now everything's digital.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. So I think it's just cool, man, to see that your awareness is there. Look at the little man back there right now.
He behaved. He behaved himself for an hour, man. He did pretty good. We anyway, man.
Nice. Yeah, we're about there.
All right, Keyshawn, give me a second.
We probably go ahead and close out, man. It was beautiful. It was definitely a nice introduction to have Brian come in, and
Absolutely.
next week we'll be a little better prepared. Hopefully, we can grow on some other things. That'll be dope. Oh, you know what? Heck,
What's up?
since Brian just joined us, man, I want to give him a mission to do, man. I want to give him a something to do, man, for himself, right?
Oh, yeah?
Since he's growing on being a better on behind the camera and stuff like that, and talking to people.
Yep.
So, Brian's always on this boxing stuff, man. He watches things that have super chats, and you could call in or you could write, you could message in your mind on it. Which is something I also hope to make happen on this podcast, for chatting and stuff like that. But with all of those things that Brian watched, like I've seen guys up there, I've heard guys up there who call weekly. They'll be up there, they'll get cussed out every time they call because but they call anyway, right?
Yeah, right.
And my thing is, either whatever the case may be, they're becoming better at making conversation with random people because they're calling every week. So I want to challenge Brian to go ahead and be one of the people that call in on one of your favorite channels, B, and then share your experience with us right here on the podcast. Because why not, man? Let other people know what it feels like to step out of your own comfort zone, to step into something that you just enjoyed. How did it feel? You know what I mean? Like the first time you went to go see a boxing match for real. Like, how did that feel? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm glad you shared that story. I remember it like vividly. It was like 2011.
So yeah, B, that's gonna be the goal, man. Bring back something for us to talk about, man.
All right.
And so B, every episode, at least we've been trying to work it into every episode, and I'm not gonna let it not happen today.
Okay, let's go.
Again, that mid-journey thing, man, we implemented that in every episode. And so just this past week, maybe like this the week before rather, Mid-Journey released a new version.
Like you did last week, sorry.
Oh, absolutely. And so Mid-Journey released a new version, and then I asked the homies in my group chat to just give me some stuff to play with, right? Just give me some words and let's go. So I made something, and then Joe, Tipsy, he really loved one of the things, and so I made it. I designed it further. I made it a little bit more than what it was originally. And so I'm going to share that because I added something to it just last night that feels very relevant today. Now, let me know if y'all can see that.
Oh, is that Joker?
Yeah.
What are you holding a lightsaber?
Yeah, exactly. So we did a little mashup. We got the Joker mixed with some Star Wars Jedi vibe going. But the part that I think I love the most about it is that, this quote of his, as you know, madness is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Oh, yeah.
That could be said for anything, right? A little push, a little traction to get you off the starting line and headed towards the finish line, right? And you don't know until you start going. And Frankie, you said something last week to me that I loved, man. And it was, what are you growing through? Right? It's not what you're going through. It's what you're growing through.
What are you growing through?
We're growing through our own shells, man, making the best versions of us. So I'll leave it at that, man.
Like the Star Wars nerds will love that because Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, was also the voice of the Joker in the Batman animated series.
Yeah. Oh yeah?
There's a whole full circle thing happening there, man. Yes, sir. Yep. But yeah, man, I'm getting ready to turn this into a poster for Joe and have him hang it up on his wall. So we'll probably see some Instagram action happening with that at some point. But yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir. But we doing stuff, B. So yeah, man, it'd be an honor to have you up here consistently, bro. And at your schedule, man. Frankie and I, we do this weekly, bro. But it'd be dope to have you up here too, man. So this door is always open, bro. There's a seat here for you at the table, man. I mean,
All right, man. I definitely look forward to linking up with you guys again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you will see me on here, again, and I'll try to
Yeah,
make this a more regular thing.
All right,
that's
man.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's always good kicking it with y'all. So.
Oh
Oh yeah,
yeah.
man. Hey, yo, Three Stooges, man, for real, man.
That's it.
Uh,
That's it, man. Right here.
Anna knows.
Oh yeah, she
Owen
do.
knows.
Yep.
Jose and the other Anna know. Okay.
Yep. That's the squad right here, man. I'm gonna get us up out of here though, fellas. So, yo, with that said, for all y'all that came through and let us borrow some time, we'll see you next week on PC of Mind. Much love.
One love.